It's just 2 3-pointers to make 4,000 in his career. Second is James Harden at 3,120. That feels like it's going to be a pretty safe record at 4,000. Our guy Steve Smith, you know how many you had?
No, nowhere near this.
Oh, you had a lot, man. 1,148. That's a lot, man.
That's a lot. I got about 6.
You know what's crazy?
4 of them came in my last game.
You know what's crazy in the bill, UD? You just say 4,000 threes.
You had 9, by the way, UD. So don't short you.
4,000, and then you just say times 3. You got 12,000 points.
Man, wow.
Threes.
Just put in perspective, I mean, how difficult it is to do something like that. Because you obviously did a lot in your career, too, as far as three-point shooting. But for him to get to this 4K number.
It is. The reason why his is unbelievable, he's always been the number one option. You know, a lot of guys have played off some double teams and you get wide open shots. Here's a guy who's been the number one option, and he still can get up 6, 7 makes a night. Then also a high percentage, and he's still efficient. I always say the best attribute to Steph Curry is his cardio. How could you be in that shape to be able to still shoot threes from that distance? And then, oh, by the way, UD fouled him, I fouled him. He gets to the free throw line, he still shoots 90%.
Right.
Yeah. So his cardio, to me, was second to none, and has been second to none, as you can see later in the stage of his career. He's still running around like a little kid, 25 years old, and outrunning younger guys.
The way he moves off the ball, you know, the way he thinks, the way he's one step ahead of everybody. Like you say, his cardio, he's playing off the ball so much, backdoor cut, so you're taking away the three, he's going to backdoor cut for a layup. He's going to take what the defense gives him, and then he's going to do what Chef does at the end of the game.
Right.
Night-night. So congratulations to him. You know, his conditioning, his competitiveness, his love for the game, and his commitment to being the greatest has been unmatched, and it's well-deserved, man. He's still going.
Let me ask you a question. From 10 years ago to today, when you're watching Steph Curry, when you guys were scouting to play against him, I mean, what has changed, or has anything really changed about his game?
Wow. I don't think people gave him, or still probably don't give him much credit for his handle. As well as he does play off the ball, he has an unbelievable handle. He can score from all 3 levels. Yes, we talk about him getting 4,000 threes, but Steph can get to the paint. He can finish with a floater with each hand. He can get to the pull-up. He can do pretty much anything offensively. So we talk about his 4,000 threes, but he's continued to work on his game from all 3 levels and make sure that regardless of how you guard him, he's going to be effective and he's going to be efficient on any given night.
I think for me is I talked about the cardio. Then the last 10 years, he got a couple biceps now, UD. He done got stronger.
He is a lot bigger than people would think.
Playing through contact and actually seeking contact. Before, you know, obviously you were worried about the injuries and the ankles because of the beat he was taking. Now he's starting to send out a little bit of punishment. He's been in that weight room a little bit.
Yeah, I remember he was dealing with the tendonitis in both of his knees early in the year. He just looks a lot healthier, looks happy. And there are other categories where he's kind of moving up here. And UD, he's getting your territory here, okay? Defensive rebounds. He's 82 away. I'm catching you on lists.
I thought he was about to say games played. Now you're talking about.
Well, I didn't know that. I thought I had more, actually. But, I mean, if he catch me on that, man, kudos to him. I don't think. You think he's going to get – well, he might – the way he plays the game and the condition that he's in, he probably could catch me.
Because I think he still has 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, because you say he's 82 away?
82 away from
He only need to get 1 a game for next year. He only get away.
That's true.
He only need to get 1 a game next year. He's going to catch me.
That's an impressive stat.
That is. That's very impressive.
It's kind of a sneaky stat of where
I
he
hope
is.
my son watching this.
Right.
I tell him all the time how to track rebounds when you're a guard.
Right.
You got the best angle. You can see where it's coming off at.
For sure.
Track the rebound.
I love that Dikembe used to be mad at me because he'd do all the boxing out.
Yeah.
And I just go running, go get it, and he'd say, okay.
Guess what?
And I didn't do no boxing.
Guess what I used to do to D-Wade? Me, you, and the basketball going out of bounds. Ain't nobody going to get it.
You did mention, though, you think, 2, 3 at least kind of he's got left in the tank at this level?
I think 2 or 3 as the number one option. Then you still, obviously, he has the ability to play, you know, as a second option because of his skill set. He could play 4 or 5 more years. He's a spot-up shooter. Who doesn't need a spot-up shooter? He can come in and just knock down shots like a Duncan Robinson, like a Sam Hauser. He could be a guy come off the bench. I'm not saying he will do that in his career, not saying anything wrong with it, but I think he has 2 or 3 more years left as a number one option.
Wow.
I say 2. Just because Jimmy signed an extension there, he scrapped his deal. He signed a 2-year extension, so that's 2 more years they got on the books with Jimmy Butler. I think they're going to go for these last 2 years. I think they're going to go for it. I think him, Draymond, Jimmy, Steve Kerr, Kuminga, those guys are going to really go for it these last couple of years and try to send them out the right way. But the greatest thing is You get to write your own, you get to walk away on your own. And you get to write your own story, and you get to walk away the way you choose to. You didn't get forced out, you didn't get injured, hopefully knock on wood.
Right.
You got to write your own ending to your story, and I think that's what he's going to get to do, and he deserves that.
Yeah, for a while there was that narrative, hey, maybe they should trade Steph Curry, move on. I'm glad they didn't do that.
No,
I
was adamant.
You think Dallas was mad.
I was adamant.
You trade Steph. You think Dallas was mad. You see what happened if they trade Steph out of San
Francisco. I was
Francisco.
adamant. They needed to go for it. You talk about what he's done for that franchise.
Yes. The evaluation of that franchise.
The evaluation of that franchise from when he started, people look it up, to now, they deserve to go for it. He deserves to get that chance.
Speaking of him passing away yesterday at the age of 71, what an incredible life he lived. He was an NBA player, as you saw, a philanthropist, extremely successful in business. And I know you were friends with him. I mean, what can you say?
Well, I think first of all so many people talk about the business, but he has his jersey hanging up in Milwaukee. Unbelievable player, played the game the right way. What I loved about him, you did, Nabil, so successful as a businessman, but was willing to share.
Yes.
Everybody's not willing to share. Very approachable, talk to you about anything you want to talk about. If you didn't have the answer, he could go get the answer for you. And then it was just a maze, because I think everybody looks at it to be successful as far as financially, you have to start off somewhere. Well, here's a man that started off humbly, and obviously built an empire, and it was all across a lot of different segments, and different things. And what I loved about him is he just was a guy that gave you advice at all times, UD, and gonna miss him, and he was one of those giants, a quiet giant that the NBA is gonna miss.
Yeah, you talked about, and the thing that stood out to me is the fact that you said he's willing to share. I recently came into retirement, and when you get to this point of your career, you look around and you try to follow people in front of you that have obviously been through what you've been through, and you look to follow those footsteps and follow that blueprint. So because he was willing to share, guys like yourself was willing to share with me. Shaq was willing to share with me. Jamal Mashburn was willing to share with me. Alonzo, these guys, all of you guys were willing to share with me because he was a guy who shared with you guys. And the thing that we talk about is reaching back and pulling people up when you get to where you're going. And that's what he did. And he set the tone and so on, so forth. And that's why it's my job to do the same with the next generation. And that's how it goes.
Somebody, if you could just share that little tidbit you were telling me in the makeup room about...
I don't got no makeup on. What you talking about?
That's natural beauty right there. Yeah.
He's natural, young.
Yeah. But when Junior was playing and he bought his first restaurant chain, he was working there, which I think is great, just a great piece of advice for young people out there.
It is. Here's an NBA player was at the same time working at Wendy's, and then people might look at a situation as, why is he working at Wendy's and having all these assumptions? But this is a guy who was learning the business from the ground up, and that's the best way to learn a business, and obviously that's the way you gain the most respect. And obviously you can speak from that situation when you get a chance to talk to somebody, when you own over 600-700 franchises.
Right. Yeah, no doubt about it.
600-700. I own a couple. I made a few sandwiches at my Subways, a couple pickles here and there, but I don't own 600 or 700. But not yet.
Yeah.
But I followed that exact blueprint, making sandwiches all the way down to the pickles, ordering inventory, everything, because that's what I heard he did, and I just wanted to follow that path.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I encourage people to read up about him. What an incredible life, incredible human being who touched so many people. Our thoughts and prayers go out to his family and friends.
Chào tất cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Ngày hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục hướng dẫn các bạn làm vòng. Và hôm nay của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là cơm tấm. Mọi người, hôm nay vòng của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là cơm nếp. Bây giờ mình bắt đầu làm nhé. Chọn màu trắng nha.